Are you preparing for a taxation job interview? This video will guide you through the top 22 taxation interview questions along with their answers. These questions have been carefully curated by industry experts to help you get ready for your big day. 1. What motivated you to pursue a career in taxation? I was inspired to pursue a career in taxation due to my interest in the intricate system of tax laws and regulations. The challenge of deciphering these complexities and utilizing them to benefit clients appealed to me. I find it satisfying to help individuals and businesses navigate the often confusing world of taxation, saving them time and money. Additionally, the dynamic nature of the tax field, with its constantly changing laws and policies, keeps me engaged and motivated. There's always something new to learn and adapt to, which fosters professional growth. 2. Can you explain the difference between direct and indirect taxes? Direct taxes are taxes that are paid directly by an individual or organization to the governing entity. These taxes are levied on income, property, and wealth of individuals or corporations. It is calculated on the basis of the ability of the taxpayer to pay, which means, the higher the income or wealth, the higher the tax. On the other hand, indirect taxes are applied on the manufacture or sale of goods and services. These are initially paid to the government by an intermediary, who then adds the amount of tax paid to the value of the goods, services, and passes on the total amount to the end consumer. Value-added tax and sales tax are examples of indirect taxes. 3. What are the main types of taxes levied in our country? The main types of taxes levied in our country can be broadly categorized into direct and indirect taxes. Direct taxes are those that are levied directly on individuals and corporations, such as income tax and corporate tax. These taxes are paid directly to the government by the taxpayer. On the other hand, indirect taxes are those that are levied on goods and services, such as value-added tax, VAT, sales tax, and service tax. These taxes are usually collected by an intermediary, like a retail store, from the person who bears the ultimate economic burden of the tax, such as the consumer. 4. How do you stay updated on changes in tax laws and regulations? I stay updated on changes in tax laws and regulations by subscribing to authoritative tax and accounting newsletters. I also attend webinars and workshops hosted by professional tax and accounting bodies. I am an active member of various online tax forums where recent changes and updates are often discussed. Regularly reading tax journals and publications is another method I use to keep abreast of changes. It's also important that I have a keen understanding of the political landscape, as it can often signal potential changes in tax laws. Regularly reviewing the IRS website is also a part of my routine to stay informed. 5. Can you describe your experience with tax preparation software? In my experience, I have extensively used tax preparation software like TurboTax and H&R Block. This software helps streamline the process of filing taxes for both individuals and businesses. They include features like auto-filling forms with stored information, so I don't have to manually enter the same details every time. I've also used software like TaxAct and TaxSlayer, which provide comprehensive solutions for more complex tax situations. These tools help me maintain accuracy and efficiency, reducing the chance of errors. They also keep me updated with the latest tax laws and deductions, ensuring compliance with tax regulations. 6. What strategies do you use to minimize a client's tax liability legally? My primary technique for reducing a client's tax liability involves strategizing their expenses and income. It's possible to decrease taxable income through various deductions and credits. I familiarize myself with all the existing deductions and credits that a client can qualify for and apply them accordingly. I also consider tax-advantaged investment options, such as retirement accounts, which can defer the tax burden. Finally, I advise clients on potential tax breaks from large purchases or life changes, like buying a home or having a baby. Understanding a client's financial situation entirely allows me to provide personalized strategies to minimize their tax liability effectively. 7. How would you handle a situation where a client disagrees with your tax advice? When a client disagrees with my tax advice, my first step is to understand their perspective. I would ask them to explain their viewpoint so I can understand their concerns. Respectful communication is crucial for resolving differences. I would then clarify any misconceptions and provide detailed explanations for my advice, backed by relevant tax laws and regulations. If they still disagree, I would present alternative strategies, if possible, that align more closely with their expectations. I believe in maintaining a flexible approach while adhering to legal guidelines. It's important to remember that the client's satisfaction and legal tax reduction are my primary goals. 8. Can you explain the concept of tax deductions and provide some common examples? Tax deductions are certain expenses that a taxpayer can subtract from their taxable income, thus decreasing their total tax liability. Deductions can significantly lower a taxable income, thus reducing the amount of tax one must pay. These deductions come in many forms and are dependent on a country's specific tax laws. Common examples of these deductions include charitable donations. If a taxpayer makes a contribution to a qualified charitable organization, the amount can be deducted from their taxable income. Mortgage interest. Interest paid on a mortgage for a primary or secondary home is usually deductible. Medical expenses. In certain situations, taxpayers may deduct medical expenses that exceed a specific percentage of their adjusted gross income. Education expenses. Some educational costs, such as tuition, fees, and interest on student loans, may be deductible. Retirement contributions. Contributions to certain retirement accounts may be deducted from taxable income. These are just a few examples of tax deductions. It's always a good idea to consult with a tax professional or do thorough research to understand the scope and conditions of these deductions. 9. What is your approach to researching complex tax issues? In researching complex tax issues, my primary strategy involves a thorough review of tax laws, regulations, and relevant court rulings. Often, I start with a basic understanding of the issue at hand and progressively delve deeper into its intricacies. Utilizing reliable tax research platforms and tools such as CCH or Thomson Reuters is also an integral part of my process. Professional networks and discussion forums can offer valuable insights as well. If needed, I would consult with experts in the field to gain additional perspective. Importantly, I ensure that every piece of information I use is current and accurate. My approach to researching complex tax issues involves a multi-step process. Firstly, I make sure I fully understand the issue at hand and identify the relevant tax laws and regulations. I use reliable tax research tools, such as CCH or Thomson Reuters, to delve deeper into the issue. I also engage with professional networks and discussion forums to gain different perspectives. Sometimes, consulting with experts in the field is necessary to gain a deeper understanding. It's crucial to ensure every piece of information is current and accurate to provide the best advice to clients. 10. How do you ensure accuracy when preparing tax returns? When preparing tax returns, my primary focus is always on accuracy. I begin by carefully reviewing all financial information provided by the client. It's crucial to pay attention to every detail, as even a small error can lead to significant discrepancies. After this initial review, I use reliable tax preparation software to input the information and calculate the tax liability. I cross-check these calculations manually to ensure they're correct. I also make it a point to stay updated on the latest tax laws and regulations, as these can affect the accuracy of the return. In case of any doubts, I do not hesitate to seek clarification from the client or conduct additional research. It's this meticulous, thorough approach that helps me ensure accuracy in every tax return I prepare. 11. Can you describe a challenging tax situation you've encountered and how you resolved it? There was a particular case that I handled where a client had neglected their taxes for several years. The client was under the impression that they didn't owe any taxes due to their low income. Upon reviewing their financial records, I found that this was not the case. The client was actually liable for substantial back taxes. I explained the situation to them in clear and simple terms, ensuring they understood the severity of their situation. I then worked with the client to devise a plan to pay back the taxes in manageable installments. This included applying for an IRS installment agreement. While this was a difficult situation, my careful attention to detail and ability to communicate effectively allowed us to resolve the issue successfully. 12. What is your understanding of international taxation? International taxation involves the application of tax laws for individuals and businesses that operate in more than one country. It is a complex area, requiring understanding of various tax systems, treaties between nations, and rules regarding how income from foreign sources is taxed. It also involves issues like transfer pricing, where multinational corporations need to set prices for transactions between their different divisions located in various countries. It's essentially about understanding and navigating the diverse and complex tax rules of different countries to ensure compliance and optimize tax planning. International taxation can be challenging due to differing tax laws and regulations in various countries. However, it also offers opportunities for strategic tax planning and risk management. My approach to this area involves continuous learning, diligent research, and consulting with other experts when necessary. I believe that a solid understanding of international taxation is crucial for providing effective tax advice to clients with foreign income or operations. 13. How do you explain complex tax concepts to clients who may not have financial background? Tax concepts can be tricky for individuals without a financial background. My approach is to simplify the terms and processes as much as possible. For instance, I try to use analogies or real-life examples that they can relate to. The goal is to make them understand the essence of the tax concept without overwhelming them with technical jargon. I also encourage questions and provide clarifications whenever necessary. It's essential to ensure that the client understands their tax obligations and how their financial decisions can impact their tax situations. This approach helps in building trust and confidence with the clients. 14. What steps do you take to maintain client confidentiality? I understand the importance of maintaining client confidentiality. First, I ensure that all client documents and information are securely stored and only accessible by authorized personnel. This includes both physical and digital security measures. Digital files are password protected and encrypted, while physical files are kept in a secure location. Secondly, I do not discuss client information with anyone who does not have a need to know. This includes both inside and outside the office. I also make sure that client information is not visible to others when I am working on it. If I need to discuss client information with someone, I do it in a private location where others cannot overhear. I also regularly review confidentiality policies and procedures to ensure I am up to date and following best practices. When it comes to client confidentiality, I follow a strict protocol. I only access client information as needed, ensuring it is stored securely both physically and digitally. This includes encrypting digital files and securing physical ones. I never share client information with unauthorized individuals, both within and outside the office. Additionally, I ensure that I'm not discussing confidential matters in a public setting where the conversation could be overheard. Regular updates and reviews of confidentiality policies help me stay aligned with best practices. 15. Can you explain the difference between tax avoidance and tax evasion? Tax avoidance and tax evasion are two distinct terms in taxation. Tax avoidance refers to the practice of utilizing legal methods to reduce one's tax liability. It generally involves manipulating the tax system to one's advantage, finding loopholes, and utilizing the best possible options to reduce tax payments. On the other hand, tax evasion is the illegal activity of not paying taxes owed. This can involve dishonest tax reporting, such as declaring less income, profits or gains than actually earned, or overstating deductions. Tax evasion is a federal crime, punishable by fines, penalties, and imprisonment. Understanding the difference between these two terms is crucial for any tax professional, as it aids in advising clients on legal ways to reduce their tax liabilities, while also cautioning them against engaging in illegal activities that could lead to severe penalties. 16. How do you prioritize tasks during the busy tax season? During the busy tax season, prioritization becomes crucial. I start by making a detailed list of all tasks and deadlines assigned to each client. Then, I categorize tasks based on their urgency and importance, using a matrix tool. Tasks that are both urgent and important take top priority. I also take into account the complexity of each task, as some require more time and concentration than others. In addition, I make sure to allow some flexibility in my schedule for any unforeseen issues or last-minute tasks. Regular communication with clients also helps to manage expectations and keep everything on track. 17. What is your experience with tax audits? In my career, I've had extensive experience with tax audits. I've worked with both individuals and businesses who were being audited by various tax authorities. My role typically involves preparing all necessary documentation, meeting with auditors, and working with clients to address any concerns raised during the audit. Through this experience, I've learned how to effectively communicate with auditors and how to navigate the process efficiently and effectively. My goal is always to make the audit process as stress-free as possible for my clients, while ensuring they are fully compliant with all tax laws. 18. How do you handle discrepancies in financial records when preparing tax returns? When I come across discrepancies while preparing tax returns, my initial step is to thoroughly review the financial documents provided by the client. If the discrepancy persists, I communicate with the client, providing them detailed information about the issue and asking for additional records or clarification. If necessary, I perform a mini audit of their financial records to ensure accuracy. My aim is to make sure that the tax returns are prepared accurately and according overall tax laws, minimizing potential issues with tax authorities. This process requires patience, diligence, and strong communication skills. 19. Can you explain the concept of depreciation and its tax implications? Depreciation refers to the reduction in the value of an asset over time due to wear and tear, age, or obsolescence. In terms of taxation, understanding depreciation is crucial as it can significantly impact a company's tax liability. The Internal Revenue Service, IRS, permits businesses to deduct the cost of certain assets they purchase as business expenses. However, instead of allowing them to deduct the entire cost of the asset in the year they purchase it, they must spread the cost over the lifespan of the asset. This is known as a depreciation deduction, and it reduces the business's taxable income, thereby lowering its tax liability. Depreciation is a complex area of tax law and requires careful management to ensure compliance with regulations. 20. What is your approach to tax planning for businesses? My approach to tax planning for businesses is proactive and strategic. I believe it's important to understand the specific needs and goals of each business, as the tax strategies employed should support these. Regular communication with the client throughout the year, not just at tax time, is crucial. This allows me to stay updated on any changes or growth in the business that may affect their tax situation. I also use my knowledge of tax laws and regulations to identify opportunities for tax credits, deductions, and incentives that may benefit the business. I always aim for compliance while striving for the optimal financial outcome for the client. My goal is to provide businesses with a clear, effective tax plan that minimizes their liability and supports their financial health. 21. How do you stay motivated during long hours of tax preparation? Staying motivated during prolonged hours of tax preparation requires a mix of discipline, passion for the work, and understanding its critical role. I find it helpful to break down the work into manageable tasks and set short-term goals. This method helps me to see progress and maintain focus. Additionally, taking regular short breaks is beneficial for me as it allows me to relax my mind. Also, I always remember that every piece of work I do is impacting a client's life or a business success, which adds value to every hour I spend on tax preparation. This perspective keeps me driven and motivated. 22. Can you describe your experience with estate and gift taxes? My experience with estate and gift taxes extends over the course of several years in the field of taxation. I have worked with numerous clients to manage their estate planning and gift tax obligations. This involved an understanding of the tax code regarding these areas, as well as the ability to accurately calculate the tax implications of large gifts or inheritances. I have also advised clients on strategies for minimizing their tax burden in these areas, such as the effective use of the annual gift tax exclusion. This experience has given me a robust understanding of estate and gift taxes and the ways in which they can impact an individual's financial situation. As you prepare for your taxation interviews, these questions should provide you with a robust framework to understand the kind of inquiries you might face and how best to answer them. If you found this video helpful, please show your support by liking this video and subscribing to our channel. Happy learning!